Yes, and we're back. Part 2 of Module 7, and we're still doing media relations. Now we're on to the media relations, the press release that you as a public relations officer needs to transmit or use the medium or the vehicle that we're going to use to transmit the information to the targeted audience. So now, with that said, what is a press release? And a press already tells you it is an announcement that you're going to make within the newspaper. I'll repeat. It's a press release is an announcement that you're going to make in the newspaper. It can generate a feature story, and we will get to that later on. It's announcements of events, it's promotions, and anything that you're going to say about the business, whether it's a new product or a service that the business is rendering. So why a press release? Yes, because it is the most critical tool to any public relations officer. You want to establish the positive image of the company. So what you're going to do, if something is said in a negative light about the company, your main function as a public relations officer is to reestablish or reinvent that image within a news release, or what we say, press release. Journalists is much more likely to publish your story if you send them a release. So why? The journalist wants to just make name for him or herself in the first place. It's his job. So if you as a public relations officer, you write that public release statement and you will release it to the journalist that is working for that specific newspaper. So remember, journalists does not care about your message. They, like I just said now, they just want to make name for themselves. So they're going to try and get all the itsy bitsy news within their sections to write about. It doesn't care about your non-profit organization, raising money, bringing visitors to your site. They want to make news. So whether they're going to use your article to make the news, so be it. A journalist wants a story that readers will read and they be interested in, so imitate headlines you see published in newspapers and write your exciting news in as few words as possible. So when you release that statement, and I will show you now the guidelines to write a news release or press release statement for the newspaper about the business, what guidelines there are when you do so. So you're going to need to write an exciting one, because the journalist that is going to publish it or put it into paper, write about your story, is going to want the soppy ones, the ones that is going to grab the targeted audience attention. So steps in writing one. There is an headline. A poor headline will render your article invisible. So a headline must be punctured. It must grab the attention of the viewer or the reader. Brief, clear, to the point. Have a grabber to get people's attention. In bold, larger font, and present tense. So you don't want to talk about last week, last year. You want to talk as the current event is taking place. Covers keywords, excludes words like and, the, this. You need to say it is Simon's Classroom Online, it is Elmi, it is Demelin. So you need to focus on the keywords. Capitalize first word, and all proper nouns. Do not capitalize every word. So when you do your headline, make sure that you grab the viewer's attention by writing it in a proper font and size. Tips for writing a good headline: keep it short to the point, put keywords towards the front, avoid business jargon, create an emotion with the readers, and be current. Use trending words. Give your reader a reason to read on. Ask yourself, would I click on the link? Would I read this article? If you write your message, the information must be so in such a way that you actually want to read more. And if there's a link perhaps within the article, you want to click on it to see what more is there to read about. Write the press release, the body copy. Start with details such as date and city, the lead or the first sentence to grab the attention of the reader, and then the following sentence provide more detail about the story or about the information that you want the readers to know. Keep your language simple, sentences short. And now you get to the 5 W's and the 1 H. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. Length, 3 pages or less, and definitely you try to make it in an A4 size so that you take in consideration the space and where you're going to place the specific information section. Press release should be newsworthy, and you'll find all of these characteristics also on page 120 to 122 in your textbooks. So when you refer to these notes, that you also have your textbook at hand, and when you view the specific video, that you also then get familiar with where your content is within your textbook. It must be newsworthy. It can include information about the company, provide contact information relevant to press release for future correspondence, and with asterisks or hashtags for that matter below the last line, a journalistic standard. So if you're going to rate the journalist input, that you'll also look at that. And there's a typical press release template where you know the letterhead of the company is on top and the headline, and like we said, obviously you're not going to write blah 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 blah. You're going to write the first lead sentence and then continue with your body to make it good. And then at the end, the hashtags, use pound signs to signal the end of the press release, or use this hashtags to say that the release is continuing or it is end. Blah blah blah, inverted pyramid. Why is it inverted pyramids? The most important information is on top where you have your 5 W's and H, because you want to know, you want to grab the attention of your reader so that you're going to understand what is the lead sentence. And as you go along with the body, you then have to develop your article or your statement in such a way that in the middle there's a story and it concludes to the end. The less or least important is right at the end. So should you have a viewer and he's in a hurry, he grabs the lead sentence, read a little bit of the body, and forget about the end. Here you have your news for immediate release. The banner, meaning the information of the company. The headline, the slug line. The lead line, the body, and the closer. Banner info does not take the place of contact info. The banner info does not take the place of contact info. The banner is information to say the importance about the business, where it is situated. It's not just a business that is fly by night, it doesn't have a local area or place of situation. What am I announcing? It must be newsworthy, the content, sharing with the community the changes that your organization is going through. Remember, you're still putting the positive spin on this negative publicity. Assume that your non-profit has accepted your recommendation, and the recommendation is a fundraiser, hiring more volunteers, changes to the website, etc. is the news. So that's just an example, so that you put in place that you are a non-profit organization and you want volunteers to help. And remember, if you want people to come and work for no money, you need to be hitting your message in such a way that it reaches the audience, that they actually, after reading your article, they want to come and work for you for no wage or salary. So with that said, I will repeat. Media selection takes preference when you have an experienced judgment. You need to be informed as to how you get your message across or the information to the targeted audience. Select the different medium that you, or the vehicle, such a better word, that you're going to use to transmit or transport the information to the targeted audience. Let's recap. It's print media, it is electronic media, it is billboard advertising, which is the outdoor advertising. We've got transit advertising. Remember Mango? There goes the Mango aeroplane. There's the Revlon model on the bus. So you will have these types of advertising. You have got direct mail advertising, catalogs being sent to you. Then you have billboards, etc. And electronic media also includes the cyber, the internet, the television, anything that works with electricity for that matter. Okay, so make sure that you are informed about the different media, that you also know that when you select it, why you select it, making sure that you know the budget, making sure you know the information. And then lastly, to conclude on part 2, before we go on to feature articles, we want to understand that those factors are taken into consideration, and make sure that after going through these notes, you have grasped the way in which a press release is written. It could be that you will be asked in the examination or a task at hand to write up a press release for a given scenario. I thank you very much, and thank you for viewing.